Hello, Trusty Schwank.
Hello, Trusty Lambert. Wait, is that our introductions? Are they out of the way now?
I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, well, this is Mundelein Minute. It's season 3, episode something rather, and we are here to talk about the village board meeting last night, August 22nd. I am Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee in the village of Mundelein, and you are not Eric Schwenk.
Nope, I'm Kara Lambert.
You're Kara Lambert,
Also
a trustee in the village of Mundelein. And this is Mundelein Minute. I think I said that. It's my house, my cameras. There's people here. There's a bird. There's 3 cats.
I'm looking
People
for one
upstairs. Yeah, they haven't joined in a while.
I know.
Yeah,
That's probably why our viewership's down.
probably. Maybe because we didn't upload in a long time.
Maybe. I
It
don't
could
know.
be the cats.
True.
Okay, so moving into the meeting last night, all of the trustees were present. We did the Pledge of Allegiance, the approval of minutes, and then on to public commentary. And we had an hour's worth of public commentary last night.
Yep.
So let me pull up those notes. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't know why I'm counting. They're numbered.
Just read the number, Schwank. Just read the number.
So we had about 15 people that spoke about a residential development, an apartment complex development on Butterfield and Huntington Drive. And they brought up a number of issues. I'm not going to go through each individual person and name all them, but if you want to watch the hour public commentary, it is on the website.
But we can go over the issues they talked about.
Yeah. So traffic was the main one. We heard a lot about traffic and turning in and out of Huntington Drive onto Butterfield, crossing traffic, those kind of issues.
Correct.
Traffic through the neighborhood was another one. People didn't want renters in the area was one. That there was too many units for the amount of space on the land. Impact to sewer, water, police, fire. That the rentals would lower property values. That I'm looking over notes and all I keep seeing is traffic.
Traffic was a big
Yeah.
one. Like the majority was traffic, and then
Yeah.
a lot of it was
That it was poorly designed, too much density, that there would be conflict, criminals, dogs, theft, that they need to put restrictions that those people can't park on the streets
Can you
outside
back
of
up
the
right there?
development.
That
Yep.
word that you just used?
Criminals,
No.
dogs.
What did you just say?
Theft.
Those people.
Those people. Yeah.
Yeah. So that all of the trustees kind of spoke about that last night. This is probably out of turn, but whatever. That there was the group that was speaking had this huge stigma against renters and kept using terms like those people. And it was a little bit offensive to all of us as we were reading. We all get copies of public commentary of the public commentary that goes before the Planning and Zoning Commission. And
Yeah. So if you send in an email, if you
We
make
always
public
get it.
commentary, we get a copy of notes that staff keeps on things. So
Yeah.
we know what's
and we
happening through the process.
and we read it and we take it seriously, and which is hard because I don't take much seriously, but we
Right.
definitely take that seriously. And there was a lot of stigma around renting, and these apartments that we saw last night are like high end,
They are
$2,000.
very nice units.
$2,000 and above.
So yeah, their cheapest unit right now is being
1,800
priced
bucks.
at $1,850 for a studio.
Yeah. So this is not like the I like rented a disgusting apartment in college. Like this is not that. Like this is not $400 a month.
Right.
This is like super high end. And I just told Trustee Schwenk when I got here that I thought the development presentation by that developer last night was probably the best development presentation that I've seen to date. And they were incredibly prepared, and they had extensive amounts of data and a ton of research and a lot of analytics. And somebody last night asked how we made decisions and like what our matrix was for making decisions. And to me, I make decisions based off of data. And it's hard for me because I'm kind of an emotional person. It's hard for me to separate my emotion from the data. And I said last night that when this project was proposed 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, whatever, I wasn't like a super big fan. And then after seeing the presentation and reading all the information, this is a nice project. The developer goes above and beyond in terms of their design, in terms of like setbacks, in terms of their landscape, in terms of density, goes above and beyond all of the things that our code asks for, which I thought was telling. They've done numerous traffic studies, which should help alleviate the traffic concerns, but it didn't. The police chief spoke out about traffic and talking about how he didn't foresee traffic in this area being like, as much of a disaster as these residents were claiming.
Or any other issues.
Right. Yeah, exactly. He commented about being adequately staffed to handle it. The deputy fire chief talked about being adequately staffed to handle it. Our public works head of public works talked about sewer and water being okay with it. So like the concerns, I made sure and wrote down like all of the concerns and then had each entity that would handle it answer that question, and there was facts supporting those answers. So I just felt like the developer last night was so prepared, and
very much so.
The data really drove this decision for me.
Right.
Okay, I'm done orating now.
Okay.
Okay.
So I did speak last night about.
I mean, so did I. I orated
you did.
last night.
You orated. That's a good word.
I know. I
love
love
that
it.
word.
It's good.
Every time I hear the word orate, it makes me think of Abraham Lincoln.
That's what I felt like last night.
He is like literally the best orator ever.
I felt bad for taking the mic for so long last night.
It's okay.
Sorry.
So I spoke last night and I said last night that people got to know me in the community as a flight attendant. And what many people don't know is that I have gotten involved in real estate over the past few years, and I now hold multiple different licenses through the state, and I can do real estate and property management and association HOAs, things like that. So I said last night that I looked through a different lens than what I did 3 years ago, and I see the homes, these apartments, in a different light. Look at the people that rent them in a different light, and what I see is my own tenants, that I have executives that deal with research and development. I have a research scientist, international global logistics, bus drivers, things like that, all different walks of life. And they're just in a place in their life where they don't want to own a home, or just aren't ready to, or whatever their reasoning is.
Or they've done it. Trustee Ross and Trustee Russell both spoke about that. You know, like they're at points in their lives where the kids are gone and you don't need a 3-story house or whatever with a yard.
Right. Or like me, when you pulled up and you saw what I did in the front yard, it is a ginormous mess as I'm putting in a retaining wall. And, I dug out several feet down.
But someone our parents' age isn't going to want to mess with that.
Right. Right.
I'm out.
Honestly, I don't know if I want to mess with this, but it's what's happening now and where I am in my life. And not everybody is in the same position. So rentals make sense. And I also spoke about how one of my properties that I had listed, well, I actually didn't even get to listing it, was rented that fast. I put a sign in the front yard, and I had a phone call before I even got home, and it's like 3 blocks away from my house. Yeah. And it rented that fast. It was gone.
Yeah, and the developer last night posted vacancy rates in a lot of the, because people are gonna be like, well, there's rentals everywhere. Well, they did their research, and the vacancy rates at places around us are literally, all of them were under 2%.
Yeah.
All of them. Some were 0.
Mm-hmm.
Some have wait lists.
Yeah.
I talked about a friend that had just moved here. They live in Vernon Hills. They rent at the Oaks, which is like, actually kind of like this. Mm-hmm. And they have a 2-bedroom, and their rent is going up by $1,000 next month or next year.
Right.
And they're like, we're not sure if we're going to stay, but we have to, because where do we go?
Doesn't that just blow your mind?
It's insane. Their rent is like almost double my mortgage.
Right.
For my house in Mundelein. Right. Anyways. End of rant.
End of rant on that topic.
There was other topics.
There was other topics, and we're already eating into our recording time. Okay, anyways.
And no one's watching anymore because we've just babbled.
That's true.
Just like
That's
my kid
true.
just babbles.
Sorry about that, people. We also had public commentary about AutoLand, which is a business that is hoping to take over the spot
where Elite Motors used to be.
Yeah, where Elite Motors was on Lake Street. Yeah. That kind of backs up against Loch Lomond, and we heard from some Loch Lomond residents and some Holcomb residents about some of the concerns there, and some of those concerns were already addressed through planning and zoning, and we reiterated some of those facts and some of those details, like
I got so confused during that.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what is that? Taylor had to I was like, please explain to me like I'm 5, because I'm lost.
Yeah. as somebody with I guess, tricky last name to pronounce, when the guy
I
tried to
know.
pronounce Taylor's name and Taylor was like, "Yep, good
Close
enough."
enough.
I was like, "Perfect, Taylor. That's awesome." So I appreciate everybody's work to try to get this agreement
Also
over the
appreciate that the
line.
business owner proactively went to the neighbors and talked about it and like worked together before it got ugly in front of the board. And
And the
we had,
property owner, yeah.
yeah, that was so nice to see.
Yeah.
Collaboration for the win.
So some of the concerns for the neighborhood, there was property value, the sales price of the cars,
Right? They didn't want it to look like a junkyard.
right? And
Fair.
there was a confusion between what was said versus what was presented to planning and zoning. Fence, they're going to replace the fence, which is going to make that property look so much better.
And it'll be 8 feet, which is nicer.
8 foot, yep. And one of the residents lives across the street, so it makes sense that
She was concerned.
She doesn't want to look at it. I totally
Fair.
get that.
It's fair.
The trees,
They better stay. Those trees better
they
stay.
better stay. I kind of didn't know where to go on that last night because the property owner has
Rights.
certain rights as well.
I mean, that's fair, but
And I think
They're old trees.
that they are nice trees, and I think the community kind of spoke up and said, "Hey, they're a buffer, natural buffer, and they do cut down a lot of noise."
yeah.
And who
But
doesn't
hope-
love trees?
But duh.
Lorax.
That's me.
So that was it for public commentary. We didn't have anybody else speak on any other items other than those two.
Well, there wasn't really much on the agenda besides
Doesn't mean people don't come and talk to us.
day-to-day operations, basically.
But there was a total of 18 individuals, and it took just about an hour. Just about an hour.
Okay, here we go.
So after that, there was no. Oh, then we went into the Butterfield presentation about the apartment homes, and
All of that is online. If anybody's intrigued by it, all of the presentation is online in the packet from last night's meeting.
correct, and the planning and zoning packet from before.
Yeah.
So the last night's packet was 677 pages, and the majority of that was the planning and zoning packet, because whenever an item gets added to the agenda, all of the supporting documentation for that item gets added to the agenda. So the planning and zoning packet was in there 3 times.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right. So there's
Makes sense.
lots of copies of the same information, but it's all in there.
Yeah. But the presentation is in there, and it's good, and you can see what they look like and the amenities they offer. So.
Correct. Yeah, the entire site layout, plan, everything. Okay, under the mayor's report, the mayor issued a proclamation for September 15th through October 15th as Hispanic Heritage Month. And then the village administrator's contract was up for its second amendment.
You want to talk about that, Trustee Schwank?
So I voted no on hiring this guy. And
Yikes.
I've eaten crow the last 2 years on that, and I'm okay with that. I add my barbecue sauce and eat the crow.
And Gunther just loves it.
He does. So last night, of course, to mess with him, I
Hesitated on that vote.
I had to pause. Ooh, I turned my mic on and yes, and it's all in good fun,
Poor
and
Gunther.
he understands that there's humor behind that, and
Yeah.
and that's one of the great qualities that I appreciate about him, is that he knows how to have fun too. It's not all strictly business.
Yeah. But I will say, we, when we do his contract renewal, he gets a full evaluation just like any employee would at any business.
Yeah, so his
Which
evaluation
is really weird
was,
as a trustee to do that, because
he's our only employee,
right, and we aren't there every day.
Right. So we appoint
Yeah, it's
department
weird. It's
heads
interesting.
and the village administrator, but the department heads fall under the purview of the village administrator,
Right.
but their overall employment is by the board. So we don't actually review the department heads.
But
the
we review
administrator
him.
does, but we do review the village administrator. And it's been interesting the last few years to be able to write some of these comments, knowing that everything that we write goes to him, good or bad.
And I think he takes it seriously, because
He
you
does.
definitely can see things that we've talked about in the past, like being done. Like we had talked about
Communication was a big one.
communication. We talked about him like kind of being involved in some professional organizations, and he definitely has made an effort towards that. Like just things that we've said he's really taken to heart and done well with. So
Yeah. And like even one that I wrote was kind of a really simple one, but to me it's important, is if I send an email on a Saturday or a Sunday, because that's when I had time to look over the packet, it's okay to wait till Monday.
I know.
Like just because I have a title of trustee, we hate titles.
Who cares? Just spend time
Yeah.
with your kids and your wife.
Right. And it's okay to get back to me
Yeah.
on Monday. Totally
Yeah,
is.
so.
It's totally fine.
So we voted on that. And that was
So
good.
yeah, he's doing a great job, and he's still not even in the 50th percentile of area community in what they pay
in terms of pay. Yeah.
their village administrators. Next up is community and economic development, and we passed some motions regarding the Butterfield multifamily. They all passed unanimously. I'm sorry. First up was the AutoLand Group, and we did pass basically just authorizing staff to draft the ordinance for those variances. So those will come back before us.
And we all talked about they needed to do the 8-foot fence.
Yes. Yeah. Discussion ensued. And then it was on to Butterfield and passed some motions there.
And one of them, I think I want to point this one out. One of them is that we did deviate from the comprehensive plan.
We deviated from the comprehensive plan.
Important to talk about.
Yeah.
So
no variances.
Right. No, they built with no variances, which is insane.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. This developer had its life together last night.
Yeah.
Really impressed. But deviating from the comprehensive plan, I think, is something to note because, yes, we spent time and money putting that comprehensive plan together. But from the time that was developed till now, we had this thing in the middle called a pandemic.
Yeah.
That literally changed everyone's lives.
Yeah.
How they work, how they shop, how they spend their money, all different.
Commercial space is not as sought after as
correct.
It once was.
So that was zoned commercial, right? And I asked our head of community development last night that how many interested parties have we had in this piece of land? So I've lived here 20 years and it's been for sale the whole time and vacant the whole time.
Right.
And I wanted to know how many people have been interested in it for commercial use. And her answer was not much, because what we're seeing now in terms of commercial development are gas stations and car washes. And dare I say, that would be more detrimental to those houses than
yeah. And there was even a slide in the packet from the developer about this could have been a gas station.
Right. And so I really, really want to highlight, we get heat all the time of board, find something better. This is a private property, and this is the landowner is basically allowed to sell to who they fit, and we can't control who buys this. What we can control is making sure that whoever buys it puts a good product in there.
Sometimes.
In this case, yes.
In this case, yes.
But
but if what they're building is allowed under right,
then they can build it.
They're gonna build it.
And so I just think it was important to highlight that this was zoned for commercial, but commercial is not doing well right now.
Correct.
So this is probably the best use of the land at this point. So I think it's important that although we have the comprehensive plan, that things change, and being fluid with it might be more important than ever.
Correct.
Okay, I'm done again.
All right. So after those few motions, so some of them were for plats of survey, vacation of certain properties, and
we didn't talk about they're going to improve the corner. That'll make traffic better.
That's true. So part of the traffic study and what they came about from talking with the community was that there's an opportunity to enhance traffic at that corner of Huntington and Butterfield. So they're going to restripe it. They found that there's enough space, working with the village engineer and the county. They found there's enough space that they can add, instead of there just being a 2-lane road there, one in, one out, there's now going to be one in, and then when you come up to the intersection, you can either use it as a left turn lane or a right turn lane. So hopefully that it will alleviate some traffic.
Just sitting at that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Public Works was up next, which was Village Hall planter rehabilitation. So, I know some of the bricks out in front there have been eaten away, and salt has been damaging that.
It happens.
It happens. Yeah. Welcome to Illinois. So that's $42,500 for some brickwork and reconstruction of those planters and some of that brickwork. And a change order and replacement for asphalt parking lots. So this was a large number of $118,000, almost $119,000 for removal and replacement. And this change order was because the parking lot wasn't built correctly the first time. There wasn't enough, basically, roadway underneath to support it. So they're having to
fix it.
They're having to fix it at today's dollar instead of doing it right at yesterday's dollar.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating.
Yeah.
Finance committee was the 3-month financial report. So that came for acceptance, really, and of note was that revenues are up, largely thanks to sales tax.
Yeah.
And then second is the governing body bill approval for $1,569,724.29. And I did not practice that number last night before I read it.
Are you mocking me?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Public safety. Which
That's
fire
me.
station?
Station 2, not Station 1, as it inadvertently says in there.
Yeah.
But they're getting, what are they getting?
A roof.
A roof. That's which.
And Metro.
What?
And Metro Station is also getting a roof.
Oh yeah, but the fire station roof, and then we voted on in the omnibus for the HVAC for the system. This has been something that I don't know if you remember this, but when we sat down with the chiefs, like when we first got elected, they both had this on their wish list.
Yeah.
The parking lot for the police department.
Yep.
It was Gunther when we sat down with him, and then when we sat down with fire was the roof and the HVAC for the stations, and it's now getting done. Praise.
And it had been on the list for
the parking lot was
long
20
time.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A long time. So
we're getting it done.
We're getting it done.
So it was just that, and then there was some parking, a ban on parking near Steeplechase Golf Course. Apparently people are not using the parking lot, and they're just parking on the side of the road and like going and chipping. I don't golf, so I don't know, but
well, and really the bigger issue is it's on a curve.
Exactly. So they're parking on the street, and then people are going around a curve. It presents
and
a
you
safety
can't
hazard.
see anything as you're
So it's gonna be no parking zone.
Yep.
So don't park there, okay?
And blood drive September 3rd.
Yep. And Coffee with a Cop is this Friday
At Starbucks.
8:00 at Starbucks. And I was like, oh yeah, Theo and I will go. And then I remembered Theo starts kindergarten tomorrow.
Oh, I'll be at work. Cop on a Roof.
They raised $5,000. Yeah. So they were at
$5,400.
all of the Dunkins in town. It's a
awesome.
nationwide thing.
It is.
But it's good to see I enjoy seeing community policing in effect, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the goal of our police department, is to be in the community, and I really think they do a good job.
They do. So there was nothing from building, transportation, infrastructure, no other reports. Under Omnibus, there was some administrative consulting services, a contract with Burke, Warren, McKay in Saratella.
Oh my God, these names.
I know. So that's legal fees for the redevelopment of Oak Creek, and that there was the fire department HVAC unit.
Yeah,
so all
which we
those
discussed.
passed.
Yep. All of these had been discussed actually previously.
Yeah, exactly. So nothing from the village administrator, nothing from the village attorney or clerk, and we went into executive session for personnel and minutes.
Yep. And that was it.
That was it. We came back and wrapped it up around 10 o'clock. It was a late night.
It was late. Way past my bedtime.
I guess that's what we get for having
10-minute meeting.
10-minute board meeting
ago.
last time. Yeah.
Yeah. So. All right, so that's it. And what's going on this weekend? I don't think much. No more concerts in the park. It's like
that was
summer is wrapping up. Sad.
Shh, don't say it. Don't even.
My kid goes back to school tomorrow, or starts school tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you see a mom driving on the road tomorrow just sobbing, know that it's okay. It's just her kid starting school. Okay. All right, that's all we got.
All right.
I was going to say, I wanted the police chiefs to talk last night that school's back in session, so this is me momming. Just drive carefully. So I always see the crossing guards doing a good job. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anyways. All right. That's all we got.
All right. We'll see you in the next episode.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Bye, guys. Be safe.
Bye. Have a good one.